Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about some news which has just come out regarding Life is Strange Double Exposure 2, actually. So, Jack, it has been confirmed that we're most likely getting Life is Strange Double Exposure 2. Not set in stone, we've not had like a trailer or anything, but what we have had is two people that have left the company. I think his name is Blanchett, and it was seen on a LinkedIn article, and he has come out and confirmed that they are making a second Double Exposure. This was pre-agreed because it was a part of the contract with Square Enix. So, Jack, firstly, what do you make of this, that we're most likely getting Life is Strange Double Exposure 2, and do you believe the source?
I don't see why I shouldn't believe the source. So I will go with it and say that that this is the given thing. This is true. As far as the news itself, I don't think this is really good news. To be fair, the thing is with Double Exposure, it started off well and then it absolutely tanked. But even in the starting well, you can pick holes at it, like how they handled the Chloe relationship, for example. So I have heard some things in the background as well, that post Double Exposure they got some content creators and members of the public just sort of feedback about the game so that they could learn on it and maybe improve it for the next one, which evidently is coming from what you're saying there. But I can't say I'm really enthusiastic about it, because it feels like if it's going to be a sequel, it's going to be a carry on from what that game set. So it's probably going to involve Diamond, considering that she had the bloody nose at the end. It's going to involve Max again. It's going to involve Safi again, and they're really going to have to pull out all the stops if they're going to turn this game around, or at least improve on the first one, in my opinion. So really, what I'd have rather have seen is they carbosh the whole thing, just abandon it and made a new game in general. But a sequel, I'm not looking forward to it, mate. What about you?
No, I'm sort of with you. They're gonna have to change a lot for me to be invested, because I do agree Double Exposure was a bit of a flop. Apparently it didn't do great in sales either. And I do wonder if there's a bunch of regret going on at Square Enix right now, because clearly they've jumped the gun. They've said, we want a series of games. We want you to completely revive Life is Strange, and we want 2 or more games or whatever it's going to be. And they probably didn't anticipate how much the first one would really tank, to be honest. So it's almost like they've pinned themselves in this corner here. And don't get me wrong, it is salvageable, but there is a lot Double Exposure did so wrong, and I really hope there's been some lessons learnt from this. So like you mentioned, it didn't really honour the Max Chloe choice. That was probably the biggest gripe. It seems like the story direction changed one too many times. And I think the other big thing for me as well, probably the main big gripe I have, it is the pricing. Because they were charging this game at $50, $80 for the deluxe, or the ultimate edition, where you got it a few weeks early and you got some just really random cat content which didn't change all that much, which you pretty much got for free in Lost Records, for example, right? So I just hope that if we are indeed getting Double Exposure 2, that not only is the pricing more valid and more fair, but we either get real DLC to back that price, or we don't have the DLC altogether, and we actually have a solid story. But I think that's just going to be so difficult to do, right? Based off of where the first game ended.
Exactly, because it looks like Safi's now going to be almost like a little bit of a villain. The power's got to her head a little bit. They've got to throw Diamond in there. There's all these pieces they've got to almost try and untangle themselves from, but also honour. But again, having seen their tradition with honouring things, we've seen, we talked about with the Max Chloe thing, could they potentially just renege on it and just say, oh yeah, that wasn't canon, we forget about it? I'm not sure that they can if it's a direct sequel. Also alarming as well, the fact that it's apparently going to be released in 2026. Now, to me, that just feels way too soon. And it's one of them where I don't know if in the background, because of the poor sales of the first game, they're thinking to themselves, let's just rustle up something, let's just get something done and then just ship it out there and be sort of done with the whole thing. Because I don't know if Do you reckon they actually want to make this game? Like, I feel like Double Exposure got such a negative reception. Of course, it's going to have its fans out there, but what's the motivation behind the scenes? Is it to redeem the first game? Is it to redeem the franchise? It just seems like such a tall order.
It does, and I do think they jumped the gun. I think they thought everything was going to be smooth sailing with the first one and fans would be gunning for a second one, and we're clearly not, and we're obviously very concerned by it. And if it's true that they've made a loss in the first game, then, like, you have to wonder if they're trying to look for a way out of this contract to see if they don't have to make a second game. Because realistically, like, I don't think we should visit Max again. I think her story's done. I was slightly let down by Double Exposure. Safi seems like a villain now. You could probably introduce her in some way. It almost would be apparent, it could be possible that we play as Diamond as the main character in the next game. But even then, we didn't really explore her enough to really warrant her being the main character, that I almost would want to kind of leave Caledon University altogether, and I'd be actually intrigued to explore a complete different set of characters, a bit like they did Life is Strange 2 from Life is Strange 1, leaving Arcadia Bay. So, and even then I wouldn't even be that enthused about that. So they've really pinned themselves into this dangerous corner here, and it is really concerning. So yeah, like, we'll keep an eye out for it. Obviously, if it does come out, we will be covering it on this channel and that. But yeah, after the kind of slight train wreck of the first one, mate, I can't say either that I'm all that enthused about it. And I am very concerned for, the future of, like, Deck 9 and Square Enix, I guess.
Yeah, same here. And I mean, truth be told, just speaking from my perspective, I just feel like that the formula is sort of died a death a little bit anyway. Like, you never know. I could be wrong. New set of characters, new precedent, new power. It's almost like ever since the first game now, it's like there's another person that's got a power, or there's another situation. It's sort of like, it's sort of that milking element to it, and it's like the fact that there is going to be another one on top of this already bad game. Yeah, I don't know. It's miracle working at this point to try and, like, redeem what, in my opinion, was once a really solid franchise.
For sure, and I think, like, the first game covered themes of, like, grief and, like, long lost friendships. The second one covered things, such as discrimination. The difficult, trivias that, say, like, someone who's maybe Hispanic has to live through in USA. And then the third one has all these themes about LGBT rights and stuff. And I feel like if they was to make a new game, they should explore a new theme and build it from the ground up around that. Double Exposure didn't really have a solid theme in my eyes, and I feel like if you're making a sequel to that, it just seems like you're just treading through lost waters into just a really unknown territory that's not going to be beneficial for anyone. So I do agree, I am very concerned. Obviously, as I mentioned it, we will be covering it on the channel, and I am really intrigued to see the direction it does go. But nonetheless, let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about this news. Do you believe it? Do you think we are getting a Double Exposure 2? And if we are getting Double Exposure 2, tell us about the direction you think it should go. But otherwise, guys, check out our channel, like, subscribe, all that malarkey, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for joining.
Catch you later.